So let's look at the following system that is composed of two boxes, box 1 and box 2, an inclined plane, and a pulley. Suppose two boxes are connected by a massless cord and box number 2 hangs vertically over the frictionless pulley. If the coefficient of kinetic friction is 0.3, the mass of box 1 is 10 kilograms and the mass of box 2 is 30 kilograms, find the acceleration of the system. In other words, what is the acceleration of box 1 and box number 2? So, note that box number 2 will go downward, will accelerate downward along the y-axis, while box number 1 will accelerate upward along our slope, along the surface of the inclined plane. So, to begin, let's label all the forces acting on box number 1 and all the forces acting on box number 2. So, let's begin with box number 2. So box number 2 is being pulled downward by the force of gravity. So let's label that with F subscript G in green. At the same time, the tension in the rope is pulling our box number 2 upward along the y-axis. So let's call the tension in the rope F subscript 2 subscript T with the purple color. Now, at the same time, let's look at what's happening with box number 1. Well, first note that box 1 is at an angle, so that means even though the gravitational force is pulling box number 1 in a direction perpendicular to the ground, the actual force that's pulling our box number 1 downward is the sine of the angle 30 multiplied by the magnitude of the gravitational force F subscript G given with the blue color. So, the force that's pulling our box downward in the negative direction along the x-axis, so we choose the x-axis to run parallel to our inclined plane, our slope of the inclined plane, this points downward. This is the force of gravity. At the same time, this object is traveling upward, so that means not only is the force of gravity pulling on it downward, the force of friction is also impeding its movement. So we have two forces that point in the negative direction along the x-axis, and one force, the force of the tension in the rope, given in purple, that's pulling it back upward along the x-axis. So these two forces have exactly the same magnitude. So let's sum up all the forces acting on box 1 along the x-axis. So the sum of our forces along the x-axis for box number 1 is equal to, so we only have one force running in the positive direction along the x-axis, and that's the tension in the rope. So the tension in the rope minus these two forces, so minus the sine of the angle multiplied by the gravitational force that's acting on object number 1 minus the frictional force that's also acting on object number 1 is equal to mass of object 1 multiplied by whatever our acceleration is. Now let's sum up all the forces acting along the y-axis for object number 2. So, the sum of all the forces acting along the y-axis on object number 2 is equal to, well, we only have two forces. Let's choose going downward to be positive, going upward along the y-axis to be negative. So, the force of gravity acting on object number 2 minus the tension in the rope is equal to mass of object 2 multiplied by our acceleration. So, notice we have two equations and two unknowns. So that means we must use one equation, so we'll take equation 1 and we will represent what we don't know, the force of tension, as something else that we don't know. So we want to represent our tension in the rope in terms of all the things we know and our acceleration. So we do exactly that in this equation here. So from here we get that the tension in the rope is equal to, so mass of object 1 times our acceleration plus sine of the angle theta times the gravitational force acting on object number 1 plus the frictional force acting on object number 1. So we simply move these guys over to the right side of our equation and we get this. Now we take our equation number 2 and we take what we got from our rearranged equation and we plug this whole thing in to the force here, to the tension in the rope. And that's exactly what we get here. So now our gravitational force acting on object number 2 minus, so we distribute this minus to every single one of them and we get the following result. So we essentially distribute this negative and then we rearrange, we bring all the terms that have the acceleration to the right side and leave everything else on the left side. And this is exactly what we get. So our mass of object 2 multiplied by the gravitational constant minus our frictional force, which is given by the coefficient of our kinetic friction multiplied by the normal force, minus the sine of the angle theta multiplied by the mass of 1 multiplied by the gravitational constant g, equals, so that equals mass 2 times a plus mass 1 times a. So we bring out the a and then we divide both sides by mass 1 plus mass 2 and we get the following formula for our acceleration. So our acceleration of box 1 and box 2, our system, is equal to the mass of object 2 multiplied by the gravitational constant minus, so we have our mu, or kinetic frictional coefficient, multiplied by normal force, which, by the way, in this case, note the normal force is cosine of the angle 30 multiplied by mass of object 1 multiplied by g, which is exactly what we get. It's because our normal force is at an angle. So, and then we subtracted from sine of the angle 30, sine of the angle theta multiplied by mass of object 1 multiplied by g. Divide that whole thing by mass 1 plus mass 2. So we plug in everything we know and we get that our acceleration for both objects for our system is 0.78 meters per second squared.